Have you ever walked into your own home and felt something shift, even when nothing had changed? Have you noticed sudden tension between family members, restless sleep, strange dreams, or a quiet anxiety that appears the moment you enter certain rooms? What if I told you that the source of this heaviness might not be outside your home, but already inside it? In Feng Shui, objects are not neutral. They hold memory, emotion, and frequency. And sometimes a single object can act like a silent portal, disturbing your peace, weakening your energy, and slowly disrupting the harmony of your entire household without you realizing it. In this video, you will learn how to identify the exact items that can block your home's natural flow, and how removing them can restore calm, improve sleep, reduce conflict, and protect the people you love. Many families live with these hidden energetic triggers for years, never realizing why their home feels heavy or why opportunities seem stuck. But once you see the signs, you cannot unsee them. Stay with me until the end, because what you discover today may explain what you've been feeling, and more importantly, how to take back control of your home's energy and restore the peace that was always meant to be yours. Your home is not just walls, furniture, and decoration. It is an energetic environment that interacts with you every moment you exist within it. Every object inside your home holds a presence. Some objects support calm, clarity, and emotional balance. Others do the opposite. They silently disrupt harmony, creating emotional pressure you cannot see, but your body can feel. Over time, this invisible pressure begins to affect your thoughts, your sleep, your relationships, and even your physical energy. You may not notice it immediately, but slowly, subtly, it begins to shape your reality from within. For more than 3 decades, I have helped families understand something most people are never taught. The objects inside your home are not passive. They are not empty. They do not simply exist without influence. In Feng Shui, we learn that every object carries what is known as energetic memory. This memory forms through contact, emotion, and time. Just as a room can hold the warmth of sunlight long after the sun has moved on, objects can hold emotional imprints long after the moment that created them has passed. This is not superstition. It is the natural consequence of constant interaction between matter and energy. Think of it like a radio tower. Even when you cannot see the signal, the transmission is still happening. Your body, your mind, and your nervous system are always receiving signals from your environment. Some signals calm you, others disturb you. When an object carries stable, harmonious energy, it supports emotional balance. But when it carries fragmented or heavy energetic residue, it begins to transmit that instability into the surrounding space. Over time, this creates subtle energetic interference. Most people never realize this is happening because the change is gradual. They simply feel more tired, less peaceful, less clear, and they never suspect that the source may be sitting quietly in plain sight. Before people become aware of energetic imbalance, they almost always experience the symptoms first. It begins subtly. You may notice that your home no longer feels as restful as it once did. You wake up tired even after a full night of sleep. Small disagreements turn into arguments faster than they should. There is a constant undercurrent of irritability, as if something is quietly amplifying emotional tension. Sometimes it shows up in your sleep. Strange dreams, interrupted rest, the feeling of waking up without emotional recovery. You may move from room to room and notice that certain areas feel heavier than others, even though nothing appears physically wrong. In many homes, children and animals sense these disturbances before adults do. A child may avoid a specific corner. A pet may refuse to stay in a certain room or stare at a location for no visible reason. Plants may weaken despite proper care. The atmosphere begins to feel stagnant, as if the natural flow of life has slowed down. Opportunities feel delayed. motivation becomes harder to sustain. Most people search for answers in their external circumstances, never realizing that the imbalance may be originating from within the environment itself. Your nervous system recognizes it, even when your conscious mind does not yet understand why. To understand why this happens, you must first understand one essential truth. Objects are not energetically neutral. Everything that exists holds a frequency. Every material absorbs, stores, and releases subtle energetic information based on its history and the experiences connected to it. This process happens continuously, whether you are aware of it or not. When an object exists in an environment of calm, care, and emotional stability, it gradually absorbs that harmony. But when an object is exposed to stress, grief, conflict, neglect, or emotional intensity, it absorbs those imprints as well. Over time, this accumulated residue can begin to influence the energetic balance of the space around it. Imagine stagnant water that has not moved for a long time. At first, nothing seems wrong, but without circulation, the water slowly loses clarity. It becomes heavy. The same principle applies to objects. Items that carry unresolved emotional residue or that have been abandoned, damaged, or emotionally charged begin to anchor stagnant energy. This does not happen suddenly. It develops gradually, creating subtle interference in the natural energetic flow of your home. Your body senses this interference immediately, even if your mind has not yet identified its source. One of the most overlooked sources of energetic disturbance inside a home comes from objects that were never fully understood by the person who brought them inside. Amulets, charms, symbolic decorations, and spiritual objects are often purchased, gifted, or inherited with good intentions. They may appear beautiful, meaningful, protective. But what most people do not realize is that these objects are designed to interact directly with energy. Their purpose is not passive decoration. Their purpose is transmission, and when the origin of that object is unknown, so is the energetic imprint it carries. Every object that has passed through another person's hands has absorbed something from that interaction. Emotional states, environments, experiences. These imprints do not simply disappear, they remain embedded within the material itself. When you bring such an object into your home, it begins to exist within your energetic field. If its imprint is harmonious, it blends naturally. But if its imprint is unstable, neglected, or emotionally charged, it begins to introduce subtle interference. Most people never suspect these objects because they associate them with protection. Yet without awareness of their history, they may quietly disrupt the balance they were meant to support. The human nervous system is constantly observing the environment, even when you are not consciously paying attention. Every shape, every expression, every visual symbol inside your home communicates something to your subconscious mind. Statues, masks, artwork, and decorative figures are not just visual elements. They project emotional signals. When these objects depict calmness, balance, and harmony, they reinforce those same emotional states within the space. But when they depict aggression, distortion, suffering, or tension, they introduce a very different signal, one that your nervous system quietly absorbs every single day. Even if you no longer notice these objects consciously, your mind continues to register their presence. A statue with an aggressive posture, a face frozen in anger, a distorted or unsettling form. These shapes communicate instability and tension at a subconscious level. Over time, this creates subtle emotional pressure within the environment. You may find it harder to relax fully. Your thoughts may feel less clear. Your emotional state may feel slightly elevated, as if your body remains in a quiet state of alert. This does not happen because the object is physically dangerous, but because of the emotional frequency it continuously reinforces simply by being present. Mirrors hold a unique position within any home because they do more than reflect physical light. They also reflect and amplify energetic presence. In Feng Shui, mirrors are considered powerful multipliers. They do not simply exist as observers. They interact. They receive the emotional atmosphere of the environment and continuously reflect it back into the space. When a mirror exists in a stable and peaceful environment, this amplification strengthens harmony. But when a mirror has been exposed to emotional stress, conflict, or instability, especially in a previous location, it can carry those imprints long after it has been moved. This becomes even more significant when mirrors are old, damaged, or inherited from unknown environments. A broken mirror symbolizes fragmentation. It interrupts energetic continuity and reinforces instability. Mirrors that come from other homes, especially during emotionally difficult transitions, may still carry the energetic residue of those experiences. Once placed in your home, they begin interacting with your environment immediately. Because mirrors are designed to reflect, they do not remain passive. They continuously redistribute whatever energetic imprint they hold, subtly influencing the emotional balance of the space without making their presence obvious. Life expresses itself through growth, movement, and renewal. When something is alive, it carries an active flow of energy. But when organic material begins to decay, that flow stops. It becomes stagnant. Dead plants, dried branches, rotting wood, and even artificial plants that are broken, faded, or covered in dust all represent interrupted life force. They no longer participate in the natural cycle of growth. Instead, they become symbols of energetic stagnation. When these objects remain inside your home, they quietly communicate a message of stillness, decline, and halted renewal to your subconscious mind. Your environment constantly reinforces your internal state. When you surround yourself with objects that represent vitality, your nervous system responds with openness and stability. But when objects represent abandonment or decay, your system responds differently. You may feel less motivated, more fatigued, less emotionally clear. Over time, these subtle signals accumulate. The space begins to feel heavier, not because of physical weight, but because the environment is no longer reinforcing movement and renewal. Instead, it begins to mirror stagnation, and without realizing it, your emotional and energetic rhythm starts to slow to match it. Not all objects carry their influence through age or decay. Some carry it through emotional memory. Objects given during emotionally intense moments, especially during relationships marked by conflict, resentment, betrayal, or unresolved tension, often retain a subtle energetic imprint connected to those experiences. Even after the relationship ends, the object remains. It sits quietly in your home, appearing harmless, but emotionally it is not neutral. It continues to exist as a physical anchor to a moment in time when your emotional state was unstable or wounded. Your conscious mind may move forward, but your nervous system remembers. Each time you see or interact with that object, even briefly, it can trigger subtle emotional responses beneath awareness. A feeling of discomfort you cannot explain. A heaviness that appears without clear reason. This is not about the object itself, but about the emotional imprint it carries. Your environment constantly communicates with your subconscious mind. When objects connected to unresolved emotional experiences remain present, they can quietly reinforce emotional patterns that no longer serve your well-being, making it harder for your environment to fully support emotional clarity and stability. Some objects carry a deeper energetic weight because of the experiences they were present for. Items that were closely associated with illness, emotional suffering, grief, or loss often absorb the intensity of those moments. This includes personal belongings from periods of physical weakness, objects from hospital environments, or items that remained present during emotionally difficult transitions. These objects are not harmful because of their physical form, but because of the emotional residue they may continue to carry. Energy does not disappear simply because time has passed. It can remain embedded within physical matter, quietly existing in the background. When these objects remain inside your home, without awareness or intentional release, they can subtly reinforce emotional heaviness within the environment. You may notice a quiet shift in how certain spaces feel, less open, less calm, less restorative. This influence is rarely dramatic. It expresses itself gradually through emotional fatigue, difficulty relaxing, or a subtle sense that something in the environment feels unresolved. Your nervous system continuously interacts with these signals. And over time, this interaction can weaken the sense of emotional safety and energetic stability that your home is meant to provide. When energetically heavy objects remain inside a home for extended periods, their influence begins to move beyond subtle discomfort and into noticeable patterns. At first, it may appear as emotional instability that has no clear cause. Family members become more sensitive, more reactive, or more easily drained by situations that once felt manageable. Conversations that were once calm become tense more quickly. Silence feels heavier, rest feels less complete. The home, which should restore you, begins to feel like it quietly consumes your energy instead. This shift does not happen overnight. It develops slowly, until one day the difference becomes impossible to ignore. You may also notice changes in how the environment itself responds. Rooms feel less inviting. Certain areas seem colder or emotionally uncomfortable. Sleep becomes lighter, and true rest feels harder to reach. Children may become more restless without explanation. Pets may act cautiously or avoid specific locations. Even your own focus and clarity may feel weaker inside your home than outside of it. These are not random experiences. They are signals that your environment is no longer fully supporting your emotional and energetic stability, and that something within the space is quietly disrupting its natural balance. Restoring balance inside your home does not require force. It requires awareness, intention, and deliberate action. The first step is to allow movement back into the environment. Open your windows, allow fresh air to circulate through every room. Let natural light enter spaces that have remained closed or dim. Stagnant energy thrives in stillness, but movement begins to dissolve it. As air flows and light enters, the environment begins to release what it has been holding. This process may feel simple, but it is powerful. Your home responds immediately when circulation and renewal are reintroduced. Next, begin observing the objects around you with calm honesty. Notice what feels supportive and what feels heavy. Objects that are broken, abandoned, or emotionally charged should be handled with intention. Removing them is not an act of rejection, but an act of restoration. As you clear space, you allow your environment to reset. Even washing your hands afterward becomes a symbolic and physical signal to your nervous system that a transition has occurred. Gradually, the atmosphere begins to feel lighter, more stable, more supportive. Your home starts returning to its natural role, not as a source of silent pressure, but as a space that protects and restores your energy. The moment you begin to restore balance inside your home, something else begins to change as well: your relationship with the space itself. What once felt heavy or draining begins to feel calm again. Your nervous system responds quickly to environments that support stability. Breathing becomes deeper without effort. Your thoughts feel clearer. Emotional tension begins to soften. This happens because your home is no longer working against you. It is no longer reinforcing subtle signals of pressure or stagnation. Instead, it begins to support emotional recovery, mental clarity, and energetic renewal in the way it was always meant to. This process also restores something deeper, your sense of control. Many people live for years feeling affected by emotional states they cannot explain. They believe the cause is external, beyond their influence. But when you begin to consciously care for your environment, you reclaim your role as the guardian of your space. Your home becomes aligned with your well-being instead of interfering with it. Stability strengthens. Emotional resilience returns. And gradually, your environment transforms into something it was always meant to be, a place where your energy is protected, supported, and allowed to fully recover. Your home was never meant to be a place that weakens you. It was meant to be the one place in the world where your body can fully release its defenses, where your mind can rest, where your energy can rebuild. Every object inside your home contributes to that environment, either strengthening its harmony or quietly disrupting it. This is why awareness is so powerful. When you begin to observe your space with intention, you begin to recognize what supports your peace and what interferes with it. Your home responds to this awareness. It begins to reflect the clarity and stability you choose to create within it. Protection does not come from fear, it comes from conscious presence. When your environment reflects balance, your nervous system follows. Sleep becomes deeper. Emotional tension fades. The atmosphere becomes lighter, calmer, and more supportive of your well-being. Your home returns to its natural state, not as a place of silent interference, but as a place of restoration, safety, and renewal. And when every object inside your space exists with purpose and harmony, your home becomes more than a shelter. It becomes a foundation for emotional strength, stability, and lasting peace. Now I encourage you to do something powerful. Write in the comments below, "I remove all negative energy from my space now," and it's done. This is more than just engagement. It is a way of setting your intention into movement. Declaring your focus in a public space sends a strong, energetic message that you are ready to align with your goals. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content on Buddhist teachings, Feng Shui, and ancient wisdom. And don't forget to share this with someone who could use a little more prosperity in their life. Let's spread the energy of abundance together. See you in the next video.